let's talk about, what are actually all the tags that you can use in TheyDo. So to create an overview of this, we've created a little template, which I'll also actually share later on in this session. So you can actually use this template to set up your own taxonomy. But yeah, let's start from the beginning. So there's two main types, I would say, of tags in TheyDo. First of all, we have like the specific tagging systems that you can use for journeys, opportunities, and solutions. So first of all, why are those different? Well, we can use status, types, and groups for these elements. And you can imagine that those things are actually different for journeys or for opportunities or for solutions. For example, if we talk about groups is often used for to indicate, what teams or departments or like domains does this solution, for example, relate to. Or you can imagine that the groups that you want to tag there could actually be different from the journeys, because your solution teams might be very different teams from the ones that are working on journeys, for example. And the same goes for status. The statuses that you use to keep track of your solutions can actually be very different than the statuses that you use to track your journeys. So for that reason, for these types of tags and elements, we've created separate tagging systems that you can use to create specific, tags for these different elements. And well, I won't go through all of them, but you can see that, they're pretty intuitive, I would say. So for journeys, we have, is it mapped or is it unmapped? Is it in research live, or is it maybe a future, like a prototype journey? And also in terms of types, we would recommend to use, is it a micro journey, a macro journey, or a service blueprint, for example? And for groups, for example, different types of domains. Is it marketing? Is it sales related? Is it DevOps related, etc.? And all those things really help to, specify, what type of journey are we actually talking about? And of course, right, these are all things that you can customize. So this is just a recommendation. You can use it any way that you want and customize it any way that you want. But this gives you, a good starting point to start out from. And the status and groups for opportunities and solutions pretty much follow the same type of system here that we, or like recommendation here. But for types, maybe interesting to mention that for opportunities and solutions, what I've used here is actually something based on the Kano model. Maybe that's known to some people. But basically you say, for opportunities or solutions, is this something that is like a sort of hygiene factor or like a basic expectation? Those are the types of things that, if you don't have them in your app or solution, people become really unhappy with it because they just expect it. For example, the train coming like at the station on time. You just expect that. It's not something that you go like, yay, it's on time. It's like, no, it should be on time. Then you have like satisfiers. Those are things that the more have of it, the better it gets. For example, a car, if it can go 300 kilometers an hour, well, the faster it goes, amazing, the better it is. And then there's delighters. Those are the things that you really don't expect. But if you actually have them or offer them, people get really happy. So that's one of the recommended ways to use types for opportunities and solutions. Although, you can use different systems as well there. But yeah, that gives you a good starting point. And you can imagine that once you start tagging using this, it already starts helping a lot. If you can, for example, track my opportunities, like which are still concepts, which are actually already in progress, or which do we actually have implemented already. That gives you a great overview of like how far are we, for example, with managing and improving our journeys. So just an example there. These are the specific tags. Then we also have global tags. So global tags in TheyDo can be used to map or to tag any type of element. So you can use them in journey steps, but mainly I would say the main application is for tagging journeys as well as opportunities or solutions. So for global tags, we really recommend using the things that you want to use across all of the things that are relevant for any type of element that you create. And also here we have some recommendations on things that we've seen to work really well, some best practices. So for example, we have a lot of companies that use TheyDo have multiple countries, but they might see like, hey, we have some different variations. For example, there's an onboarding. So every country has an onboarding in their framework, an onboarding stage. But we see that every country has maybe a little different version of that onboarding, because the steps might be different based on local regulation or customs or whatever. So if you want to tag that, we would recommend to use global tags for those types of things. So you can create global tags using, what country or area something belongs to. The same goes for channels. You might have some journeys that are very channel specific, while you also maybe have some macro journeys that just give a summary of many different channels. So to map those types of things, channel tags can help a lot. By the way, I'm going to give some actual examples of this later on. So brands is another one. Same thing here. You might want to see like, hey, what solutions do we actually apply in what brands, or what opportunities do we see that maybe overlap a few different brands that we have? To keep track of that, using brands can be really nice. And then another interesting thing, you can actually use global tags to tie all the elements in your management system back to the objectives and the key results that you have set as an organization. So, for example, if one of the objectives is, we want to increase recurring revenue, something very interesting you can do is just create a global tag for that and then tag all the different opportunities and solutions or journeys that you've created back to that objective. So you can really, for example, if you're a high-level manager or you just want to track like, hey, what are we actually doing to reach our objectives? All you have to do is go, for example, to your solution overview or your opportunity overview, filter by the objective. And then you can see, oh yeah, wait, we have like 3 or 4 opportunities related to increasing our recurring revenue that can really help to improve that. So that's another way to just tie everything together and really start managing, your customer experience.